What's up there, SEO pros? Today I'm with Holly Rollins, who's the president of 10X Digital, and she's actually going to be telling us a little bit about how they go out and build off-page backlinks with some white hat SEO tactics. Today I'm with Holly Rollins. Excellent.
Hello. Hi, thank you for having me, Chase.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. So yeah, you were telling me a little bit before this, like you guys don't focus on any sort of black hat technique. So I know a lot of people kind of have a hard time with that, especially how like Google will say like, oh, well, you can't even ask for links, which we all know that's almost impossible. So how do you actually go out and do this sort of thing?
Well, we take a very organic approach. For instance, one of our large international clients came to us because they wanted, they had a good base in the UK, but they wanted to launch in the US. So they came to us to create content and articles, and so that these articles would then link back to their site and different campaigns. So for instance, it's a discount coupon site, and we create content about savings, about all different kinds of verticals, but ultimately tie that back to relevant content that work with what their mission is.
Cool. So a lot of content marketing, in other words, with basically coupon.
I'll give you a good example. We created a world interactive language map. If you want to learn a language, we showed the different areas in the world. If you clicked on it, where you could, for instance, if you clicked on Canada, of course, in addition to English, you're going to have a lot of areas that are predominantly French. And so, okay, you want to know how long it takes to learn French, and we had a scale that would show you that, and it was interactive. Well, we would write articles and blogs about that and embed the link in it, but the link, the actual content, was housed on this client's website, so they would get traffic back to their site.
Nice.
And of course, we've done a lot of content for them based on savings, Black Friday savings, where to, for instance, financial advice, how to save, or how to make your budget go a longer way, and of course, coupons is one way you can do that.
Okay, cool. So in terms of content marketing, like, do you see that working the best for like generating links, or would you say some other methods like manual outreach, or maybe something else like social signals or sharing, would that work better?
Well, it all depends on the client and their goals. If you're a B2C, which that client was more B2C, I think a good combination of the backlinks as well as social. Again, it all depends on what your ultimate goal is. But for them, we tried another social approach, integrating with the backlink angle, and we created a contest, a kid kindness contest. And so this was, decreeing that January was Kid Kindness Month, and there was outreach to schools to do a kind act, and then get social shares. So the act itself, the description of that, how they would implement it, along with how many shares and likes they got for their idea. That is dependent on who will win the contest and who will get money for their schools to actually implement the act. So that, again, is very organic content, noteworthy content, not something that's just fluff, but actually can make a difference. So with tactics like that, we've been very successful in making our clients happy and giving them a good ROI for the time we spend in getting the blog content out there and getting articles on everything from entrepreneur to Huffington Post.
Nice. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
So for people who are like, maybe starting a small business, or they don't have maybe as much power as you do with having a lot of people in a company or having the tactics that you have, what would you say like would be a good way for them to start doing like link building, like for maybe like a smaller local business or something?
Let's see. One example I have is a specialty footwear store that's really started as a mom and pop, but they want to go more national. And we suggest that you take a real holistic approach, analyze what your website traffic is, because they were e-commerce focused. Let's say it's an e-commerce company, and this company also has brick and mortar. So they wanted both. And from an e-commerce standpoint, we help them set up their PPC, their ad campaigns with Google Ads, and make sure they're running well. Two, we looked at their content on the back end of their site, their keywords, etc. And then what we call offsite, which is the backlinks that I'm talking about. And we gave them a strategy to say, okay, your PPC is much more immediate. Your ads are much more immediate. People can click on a promotion on a certain shoe, and you can track that right away. It could happen overnight. With the organic content, that's a longer tail approach, and so that's going to take a little bit longer, but ultimately it's going to raise their brand awareness and give them credibility. So with that example, we've done everything from the ads to the organic content to now we're helping them with email marketing. So really, at the end of the day, it all depends on what their goal is, and each client's going to be different. But if they do have, a halfway decent budget, it's good to look at maybe 3 top areas for their marketing, and to see which one can work best for them, or which approach can work best for them.
But it's so huge right now, and it just kind of goes hand in hand with link building almost, and being able to get content out there and shares on social. That seems like that's kind of the common theme, right?
Well, you know what? I think the internet blipped. What was the beginning of the question?
I was saying that it seems like with most of these plans, it would be content marketing somehow integrated into it in order to, you just get so much more reach. You can get links more easily. You can get social shares.
Definitely. And a lot of people think that, hey, I can place a Google ad, or I can place a Facebook ad. And yeah, you can, but trust me, it's not that easy for it to work well.
Those are the same people who say that that stuff doesn't work, right?
Yes. And they've probably tried it and seen that it doesn't work. Well, you can take that, and you can, again, sometimes get immediate results if you know what you're doing. But the content that you put out there that you hear all the time, and it's a little hackneyed now, but content is king is still very true. And as long as your content's relevant, you're educating or informing your audience, hey, they're going to keep coming back to you. And if, of course, it's good to keep it consistent. And let's say that you have a blog, and you have an email blog that you send out to people, as long as it's something that they want to know about, it eases a pain of theirs, hey, they're going to keep reading your blog in their email box and not delete it. And, we found even with our own internal marketing, we don't get a lot of, deletes or, unfollows of our emails, because we try to be relevant to our audience.
Yeah, I'm always scared to hit that send button on my email list because I don't want to lose a bunch of people.
Right,
so I always make sure it's like, hey guys, just giving you an update. It's not like me just pushing content to you.
Yeah, because heck, we're all busy, and we all have our inboxes overloaded every day, and I understand how that can happen. But hopefully, if you're easing their pain or giving them something very credible, you will, if they're looking for your message, it's going to hit home, and hopefully they'll sign up and do some business with you.
So here's the next question. I usually ask this to people who come on here, and I say, what are some things that you've either been seeing right now that are working in terms of pretty much like anything? Like it can be, Facebook marketing, it can be, Pinterest ads, it can be whatever you want. And then the next question after that's going to be, what are some of your favorite tools that you use to like help with these different things?
Okay. Well, Facebook, ours is very custom, and I'm not the techie on the Facebook division of our business, but a lot of that really is just grinding it out, keeping spreadsheets, and monitoring it. We have a dashboard where we usually, if we're doing Facebook, we're also whether it's Facebook ads retargeting, or just pure Facebook social and boosting posts, we've got a dashboard, and it's not only showing how that Facebook is working, but also how's the Twitter working, how is our PPC campaign working, and all of that gives a really good overview of how their marketing dollars are being spent and the ROI, and we give a monthly report.
Nice. And you use it all with that sort of tool, that dashboard?
I'm sorry?
And you use that with the dashboard you were talking about?
Yes. And I mean, if I were a client, I would want to see a dashboard monthly, or, sometimes people want to see it quarterly, but I would want to see it monthly because I want to know how my dollars are being spent and how they're working.
Right. It doesn't happen to be Scythe, is it?
It is Scythe, yes.
Really? That's so funny. I was just setting that up today. Like, I'm not even kidding. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you it. Hold on. 1 second.
Yeah.
Check
it's
this
a
out.
good one. It's a good one to use.
That is so weird. I'm not kidding. I was right before this. I was setting this up. I'm like, okay, I have to stop now. I'll check this out. So I don't know how to do reporting with this, but this is a super cool tool.
It really is.
Takes a second. So how long have you been using this, and what can you tell me about it?
1 year. And
okay.
Again, I'm not the techie behind it, so I may not be the best one to ask. I'm more of the interface, monthly or weekly interface with the client, kind of the account manager with certain clients. So I show them the pretty pictures and talk about the results.
Right.
But we've been very happy with it.
Nice.
And clients are happy with it too. And of course, you need to make sure that you share it with clients.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's kind of one of the couple big things that marketers forget about is the reporting and the conversion tracking. So where is your money getting you in terms of an ROI, and what does your analytics look like by being with this company, right? Or whatever company you're going with.
Right. And
cool. Go ahead.
We speaking of conversion, we also have a process for conversion rate optimization. And again, I'm not the best person to ask about that, but a lot of companies, from the CMO to the CEO are obviously wanting to know, hey, how does this convert, and how can I actually make sure that this hits my bottom line? And so we've had more clients signing up, not just for SEO, but CRO lately. And it makes sense.
So conversion rate optimization for only websites, or do you do it also for Facebook? Because there's there's this service you can get now called, or a program called Ad Espresso. I actually interviewed the people, and I actually haven't even tried it. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, but our director of digital may have. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one who's really schooled up on everything out there, and who is the guy behind the curtain making it.
So what would you say to people who are trying to look to get started in this field and kind of go in the direction of where you're at right now?
What helped me a lot, 4 years ago, Actually, 5 to 6 years ago, I knew I needed to really turn the ship around and be more digital because I saw the writing on the wall, or I was going to be a dinosaur really fast.
Hmm.
I engaged with Content Marketing Institute. I started going to their annual conferences in Cleveland. I just wanted an excuse to go to Cleveland. But seriously, they have amazing seminars there, workshops, even offline workshops, and they have some regional ones as well. But they have great resources, and they have a great magazine. I think it's Quarterly magazine. So they've been really good, and getting my feet wet. But then we grew by acquiring a digital agency as well. So we hired the guys who, they grew up on everything tech. They were developers themselves, and they knew SEO inside and out. So we actually kind of bought that intellectual property and manpower. But I learned something every day because it's good not to forget the traditional way of doing marketing. You know where you came from, and some of that still works, and we do still do some traditional marketing. But I just I look at resources from eMarketer to Marketing Profs to try to keep engaged with those resources. And I'm actually going to take a few more online courses about SEO, just because things change, as you know, day to day in this business. So that I would advise that. But if you're a small business and you're just really trying to make your business hum, I would suggest you not do it yourself, because you already have to wear a lot of hats. And this is it's not marketing from like I was saying 5 to 10 years ago. It's much more technical. It is process oriented, and you should leave it to the experts, just like you should leave your dentistry to the dentist, because a lot of them out there know what they're doing. And I would stay away from the ones that I don't know, have maybe some black hat practices, or you just don't understand. They try to throw too many tech terms at you, and smoke and mirrors. I would make sure that someone talks to you straight and tries to break it down to you, because there's a lot of tech speak out there, and they just try to confuse you to make you think that, hey, they're the only ones who can scratch your itch and make your business really sing. But I would look for a nice, decent sized company, maybe not too big, and someone that you have a good relationship with. It's again, we tend to live in this digital age where we may sign up with someone we just don't even see their face. And I think that relationships are still very key when you're giving money to something that important.
Yeah, there's so much misinformation out there. It's crazy. Even like some of the really high level SEOs I talk to, I'll be like, yeah, I was reading a blog post from this other SEO site, which is like, one of the top SEO sites in the world. And it says to do this. And then the guy will be like, well, actually, no, that's not how you should do it. And I'm not kidding you. This just recently happened where one of the guys I was talking to emailed the owner of that site, and they changed it on the site because I noticed it and I was talking to this guy. Wow. It was crazy. Yeah. So there's so much out there. I mean, that's at like really, really high level SEO people. And I'm like looking at these people's channels on YouTube or like wherever they're selling this stuff through Facebook ads, and they are recommending some really bad stuff. And because nobody really knows, they just want to make money, and they just want to, buy into this image that's getting sold. They end up getting like heavily taken advantage of. And then they come to me and they tell me like, hey, why isn't this working? And it's like, then I have to be like, well, so.
I know there are a lot of companies and people out there, even one-man shows that give SEO and the digital world a bad name, and which is not good collectively, but hopefully the companies out there will find companies like ours that are very legit, and hey, we're a small business too, and we hope to grow, but grow you know, with great partners out there, great clients.
So in terms of clients, which we're just talking about, to bounce off of that,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is like really big in order to like either obtain or maintain clients? What do you see some of the big things are for that? Because obviously these people are wary of people like us because they hear all these horror stories about how
Right.
somebody bought this program or they found a Facebook ad. What do you think?
Customer service is key. We not only provide a lot of customer service and hand holding, but like I was saying earlier, we try to break it down for people who aren't that tech savvy, and then, making sure we optimize that relationship and have those processes in place. And we do the reporting, like the monthly reporting. But, a lot of our clients will talk to them, if not weekly, sometimes for some of them daily. And one client in particular, we have this elaborate Excel spreadsheet of the links that we're working on. And granted, it's what they want too, but they're a big enough client that we say, hey, we're here for you. We'll do that because you want that, and we'll meet your demand. And they continue to be a very good client. And one of the reasons why is we give them the detail that they're looking for. We're almost handing over, hey, here's our secret sauce in a way, but we're willing to do that because they have been such a good client. And hey, they may leave us tomorrow, but it's been a good relationship, and I feel like, with us investing in them, they'll keep investing in us, and we keep performing for them. So again, it's not only the customer service, but the relationships, and obviously the output and the accessibility. We're very accessible. Like a lot of us these days, we're basically 24/7. So if something comes up, there are 3 of us who are really tuning in at the executive level to our emails all the time, or phones, mostly email, or text, and we're here for them.
So I'm sure some people you run into maybe want to take a little bit more advantage of that than others. How do you deal with people who are maybe a little bit too needy or requesting too much time?
We've not had a big issue with that. You're going to have that from time to time, and you may find this, and others may find this, that sometimes it's the smaller clients that are needier.
Totally. It's the weirdest thing.
Right. And sometimes they just weed themselves out because they are so small, they don't really have the budget, or we only work with them for 3 to 6 months. We'd prefer a longer term relationship, but a lot of times the needier ones are more short term.
Yeah. No, I used to work at an agency, and we started trying to get smaller clients just because we had some extra time. And like right after getting a couple of those small clients, we realized that there is a completely different type of client for the smaller client. It's crazy. Like the people who can afford the services, they trust you and they leave you alone, let you do what you need to do. But it's like those smaller clients that don't have any money, that they end up being like manic about their marketing, and they want results like tomorrow.
Right.
And so they start giving you like 50 million tasks to do that might not even be related to what you're supposed to be doing. It's just crazy.
Exactly. The fortunate thing is, especially with the SEO, the PPC, and when I say SEO, sometimes the PR content and the backlinks, that's considered SEO. We have a great formula that works, and obviously it's custom for each client, but there's a baseline formula that works once we, get all the information from our end that we need to make it work for them and know what their marketing plan is, or if we develop the marketing plan. we're in lockstep with them. But you know, once we determine all of that, it's pretty seamless.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, kind of to wrap things up, is there anything that you want to comment on, like in terms of where you think things are headed, or maybe like where you think people should start spending their marketing dollars, like in this sort of industry, like people who are looking to start selling to other clients or obtaining clients?
Well, I think with digital being as the digital world being as crowded as it is and as noisy as it is, if you want to remain competitive or be competitive and differentiate yourself, if you're not already involved with content marketing, you've got to get on the bandwagon. And to do that, I would make sure you trust the vendor, and not do it yourself if you are a CEO or if you're a marketing director, CMO. Ask all the right questions, make sure that you get the analytics that you need, because either way, if you're CEO or CMO, you gotta show the results and the metrics. So you gotta make sure, you know, to see case studies from that company. And at least from our standpoint, what we are going to be doing a better job of this year is telling our story about how content and how PR outreach and SEO can really help people, help companies to not only build their brand awareness, but to ultimately convert business and increase the rankings on their site. And a lot of people don't even know this exists. They don't know that we're out. Yeah, they don't know we're out here. And truly, we talked to several ad agencies, you know, traditional ad agencies, and they look at me with their eyes crossed because they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, they're like, CEO? You're like, no, SEO.
Right. And so in that sense, we're almost pioneers. I mean, in a way we aren't, but I guess pioneers in doing it the right way. And we want to get that message out there and let people know, hey, there are companies like ours out there. There aren't many of us, and we're doing it the right way and can give you great results, ultimately increasing your sales. And it's not a lot of money for what you get back.
Right. I mean, and that's the other thing is people who are wanting like 50% or more of their sales coming through their online sites, but they don't want to spend any sort of money whatsoever on their marketing. It's just crazy.
Right. It is. It is. And, you know, if they're interested in, you know, a combination of social media and content and PPC, you know, we and others can look at their budget and say, hey, this may be the best formula for you to meet your needs.
Right on. Well, if they want to find out any more about your special formulas, Holly, where do they go?
It's 10xdigitalinc.com.
Cool. And I'll make sure to leave her link in the description, and I will be linking to your site from my site. So you got that out of that too.
Great. Well, love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on here, Holly. And also, if you ever need to start learning some pretty technical SEO, we got a bunch of videos on this channel. So.
Okay, I saw that. That's great. We'll do for sure. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Holly.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.